Okay, this is my quick walkthrough. Your goal, this is you, this is a bad guy. Your goal is to get out of the room without the bad guy catching you. He's faster than you, but he's not very smart. So you can trick him and get him stuck behind walls. So for every 1 square you go, he gets to go 2 squares. Except that he prefers to go, he will always try to get closer to you. If he can't get closer, he won't move. And if he has a choice, he will always prefer to go horizontally. He wants to go sideways. So even if it would be smarter to go up and down, if he has the option to go sideways and it gets him closer to you, that's what he will do every time. Okay, there's other enemies that do the opposite. There's some that go vertically instead of horizontally, their preference. And there's some that are a little bit slower. But we'll see those perhaps if this video is long enough in a bit. So I'm going to try to get to this exit without him catching me. This is the first room, so it's pretty easy. But before we do that, well, no, I'll do that. So you can see I can move by clicking, and then he moves, but he goes sideways and gets stuck. So now I can do this, and you can see I'm clicking at each square, but you don't have to. You can click ahead, and it will take the whole path to that square. So now we're in the second room, and now we have this key that gets introduced. Keys open gates. And when you touch a key, it opens the gate or closes it. It toggles the gate. It changes its state from closed to open or the opposite. And money, it gets you points. You can see here's your money up here. I have 150, but don't worry about that. So I'm going to go sideways, 1. You can see the gate opens. I'm going to pick this up and he'll go in there. And now when I cross this again, the gate is closed. And now I can easily escape. Now, the bad guys can also toggle the gates if they happen to go over it. Okay, so you can see here's my buttons down here. I can restart the room by doing that. I could restart the game, and that would put me all the way back to the beginning and clear all of that out. So you only want to do this rarely. Typically, you'll just keep going forward and going forward. And if you quit the game and you come back later, it'll remember where you were and it'll put you back in that room. But if you restart the game, you go back to the first room. Up here, you can change the language from English to Thai, and you can see the buttons go to Thai. And this will tell you about every person that's in the room. So if I click on this, you can see first it tells me about this, and you can read that when you're in the game. And then next, it will tell me about me. And those are the only 2 in the room, so that's all we have right now. And then up here, you can see this is how I happen to look right now. But I can choose all sorts of different characters. And the order is random each time you open this. Let's take that one. Okay, so now I'd have to figure out how to escape. Let's say I can't figure it out, or I'm lazy. I can come down here to hint, and it will tell me there's 17 steps to this solution. And if I'm really lazy, I can I'll just say, show me the first 4. So it shows me the first 4 steps. And you can see, even though he could have caught me, he's not smart enough to do that. He goes sideways when he can. So I sneak around the corner. And now, of course, I can just go this way and up and out of here. And you can see that if I chose the hint where I said, show me all the steps, that's what would happen. So I go all the way around, and he'll finally wake up and come out. But now I'm 1 step away. And at this point, I could just leave the room, or I could reset the room and then try to do it myself. So I'll reset the room But now I see how to do it. So I'm going to go over here. Whoops. Ignore that. Oh, dang. Well, that's that crashing. I'm doing this on my Mac in the emulator, and I guess the emulator is not too smart, but that won't happen on your phone. So you could tap here and it would go there. If I were more ambitious, I would retake this whole video, but I'm not going to do that. So you get to see that little glitch. So I'll go out of the room. And they'll get trickier as you go along. And you can always, well, let's do this one. And you can see it looks like he's going to run me down. But remember, he will go sideways if he can. So if I duck this way, he goes there. And now I can go down here. Right? So you can see, because it's on my Mac, I have the arrow when I'm clicking. But of course, on your phone, you're just tapping on the square. So let's get out of here. And I want to get to a room where there's a different kind of person, which I think is the next room. This. Okay. So now we've got this guy and you got this. And so if we go to help, you can see enemy. This one prefers to move sideways, but he only goes at the same speed as you. So he's slower. And again, that's the same about this guy. You know about him, and you know about yourself. And here, this is poison. If you go on that square, you'll die. But the enemies can go over that square. It doesn't affect them. So one of the tricks, when there's more than one enemy, if you can get them to crash into each other, one of them will die. So we'll see here. That little guy died. And as we come over here, you can even see in a moment that when he dies, when any bad guy dies, they leave behind some gold. And again, I could have just gone out the door and be done with it, but I want to get that gold. So I'm going to do that this way. Now I've got to figure out how to get out of the room again. But fortunately, because of this horizontal deal, so now I've got him stuck there, and I can just get out of the room. So that's it. That's all I'm going to show you. Oh, there's another bad guy. You can read about him when you get here. But he's fast and he goes vertically. But you can read that in your help menu. So there you go. I hope that you play it at least long enough to get a feel for it and test it. And there's plenty of rooms already, and I'll be adding more rooms. And of course, cleaning some things up and adding more features. But the basic gameplay is in place. And it's just puzzles. You're not shooting anybody, nobody's shooting at you, but you just have to figure out how to get out of the room.